is Untold, a space of presence, a space of forming and dissolving, a space between worlds, between sound and silence, between what was lost and what has always been waiting for us. Here, I sit with poetry, with mystery, with dancing. This is not a place for answers. It's a space for wonder, for trust, for unfolding. And you're not an audience here. You're a witness, a gentle companion to what dares to rise. You're welcome to sit here with me as you are, as we are, to witness what wishes to surface. And in this tender act of observing, we become nothing else but presence itself. Welcome to Untold, where stories are not told, they are remembered. Hi, my fellow witnesses. Today, I want to share with you some of the messages I received in my very recent trip to Sedona. They say the land calls you when you're ready. I wasn't planning a trip until August, but the universe doesn't ask about your timing, right? A beautiful soul, when I'm honored to call my friend, called me with a spark in her voice. Let's go to Sedona before I return to China. And just like that, the portal opened. The desert whispered, and we followed. That was the beginning of the red path, not a path on any map, but the one etched inside, the path from knowing to trust. On our first day, we unknowingly chose the most challenging trail, the Divine Union Vortex, 3.33 miles each way, with a 707 feet elevation on the 7th of July, 707. I'm obsessed with repeating numbers, so that's why I'm sharing these details with you. The heat was intense. We didn't check the mileage. We didn't calculate elevation. We just went. And there I was, eyes on my phone, clinging to old trails, trying to stay on track, until I tripped and tripped again. That's when my friend, usually the one who needs the map, looked at me and said, "Sadie, let's trust our intuition instead. You're gonna be fine." And I smiled, because the moment she let go of control, I was reminded of how much I still held on. Once we stopped checking, we found our way, smooth, quiet, clear. The message came like honey through the heat. Trust what's in front of your eyes. You don't need the whole map to take the next step. The next day, we went to the Divine Feminine Vortex. The climb was steep, too steep for me to reach the top. We stopped, sat under a tree and meditated, reflecting for an hour. A voice inside echoed that I had somehow failed. It wasn't loud, but it was there. Then an older gentleman appeared. A god, a stranger, or maybe both. He told us about the hidden river down in the canyon, a secret oasis. So we followed and descended down, down, down into the cool hush of water and sun. And there, in the lowest part of the land, we found the softest breeze, the clearest stream, and a peace we hadn't found at the summit. The lesson? It's not about going up or going down. It's about trusting where you are led. There is a story waiting for you wherever you go. And mystery unfolds, not in the direction, but in the surrender. On our final day, as we prepared to leave, Winnie, my friend's dog, panicked. As we moved the luggage to the car, he jumped up and down, crying, trying to get out the door with every piece we carried down the stairs. He ran in circles, out of breath, clawing at the door. No matter how many times we tried to reassure him, he was too afraid to believe us. He ran in circles, out of breath, clawing at the door. No matter how many times we tried to reassure him, he was too afraid to believe us. We finally made it to the car, panting and exhausted. I looked at him and asked, "Sweetheart, why didn't you trust us? We would never leave you behind." And just like that, I saw myself in him. All the times I'd rushed the plan, banged on closed doors, feared being forgotten, left behind, unseen by God. But I was never forgotten. I was always carried. And every moment of the journey, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. But looking back, I realized I was often too distracted by fear to notice the gentle signs that the universe is sending me. But still, even after all these life lessons, I sometimes find myself rushing to get somewhere. So, Sedona, you were not just a place. You were a mirror the universe held for us beautifully. In the heat and dust and rivers, you reminded me of the simplest truth. The map isn't the way. The knowing isn't the wisdom. The summit isn't the reward. The path is made sacred by trust. And trust is where the union happens, between the seeker and the mystery, between the heart and the beloved, between the step and the silence before it. نان پارز من بستان، جان پاره نخواهد شد. آواره عشق ما آواره نخواهد شد. آن را که منم خرقه عریان نشود هرگز. آن را که منم چاره بیچاره نخواهد شد. آن را که منم منصب معزول کجا گردد، آن خاره که شد گوهر او خاره نخواهد شد. بیمار شود عاشق اما به نمی میرد، ما هرچه که لاغر شد استاره نخواهد شد. خاموش کن و چندین غمخواره مشو آخر، خاموش کن و چندین غمخواره مشو آخر. آن نفس عاشق شد اماره نخواهد شد.